Good day, and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to save Kais, or well, how to increase units essays without the use of Kais. So you get three types of Kais. You get the top Kais, which are the Grand Supreme Kais, which are, tech, in strength, blue. They're the old one with the white beard. You get Elder Kais, which are the int ones. They're a full level of essay for any type of card. And you get the Dozing Kais, which are the 30% Kais that can have a chance of increasing your essay. So the first way to increase a card is to take a look at the card and see if it's got the same large name as the card that you're about to level up. As you can see, that card is Krillin, the strength unit that I'm raising, the one I bought from the barber shop. The unit that I am using to raise his SA is also Krillin. That Krillin card actually drops from the one event, the Bio Broly event. So I'm going to go to that event and just quickly show you where he drops. And it's important to know when the units drop and to look at their names. The small name doesn't matter, it's the large name that matters. So it's the actual character of the card. The large name, if you don't know, is the actual character tag of the card. So for example, Trunks Super Saiyan, that's the character that is on the card. You can see Krillin drops from stage 4 of the Bio Broly event. And so it's easy to kind of farm the SA of cards if you know their large name. For example, all of these events drop different units. This event here drops the Goten and Trunks unit, and I'll show you how you can use units like that to also increase your essay. But the important thing mainly is to first look at the character. The character is going to determine whether you can use that card to increase a unit's essay. So we'll jump to this stage because I just need to farm one of the units so that I can show you. But yeah, it's important to look at the large name. The reason you look at the large name is because that will determine it's the same type. If it is, for example, Trunks Super Saiyan Teen and the other card is Trunks Super Saiyan, it doesn't matter how close they are, how close they look, or even if they're from the same saga in the show. Those cards will not be able to increase each other's essay. So that's the first important thing. The next important thing to remember is that cards have chances to increase essay. If a card has the same name as another card, it can increase its essay, but that percentage that it can increase its essay will range from 1% to 5% to 50% to 100%. Generally how it works is if the card is the exact same card, meaning small name and big name, and is of the same rarity, it will 100% increase that unit's essay. If the card is Dokkan Awakened to UR state, it will still 100% raise its SA. However, if the card is Dokkan Awakened with Z medals, that card will no longer have a 100% chance to raise SA, and it will drop to a 5% chance to raise SA. I'll show you that with a demonstration shortly, but basically, to cut a long story short, if you are farming a different card, so if you are farming, for example, the Goten from this event, and you're going to use it on another Goten, that card either needs to be the rarity just below that Goten for a 50% chance, or it needs to be the rarity above that Goten for a 100% chance. And that does not include just the Z awakening the medals from a SSR state to a UR state. They have to fully Dokkan awaken to gain that percentage chance. So we'll demo it here with Goten. It's the best way to look as always to demo with these cards. So we'll take Goten, and we'll just take a look at him as a card, and we'll first check, for example, so just on a side note, Beerus. So this Beerus drops from friend summons or from normal Dokkan summons. There are a lot of SR cards that will drop from Dokkan summons. If these SR cards have the same large name as other cards, you're going to want to use those cards, awaken them, or at least move them to an SSR, and there will generally be 50% SA raises for the unit that you want to raise them in. This is also super helpful. But yeah, so we'll take a look now. As you can see, I just used the Krillins as an example on how you can raise the SA. I'll show you with this Broly. So this Broly is an SR, and this Broly here is a UR. Okay. that Broly is only a 5% increase. I'm going to take one of these Brolys, which dropped from the Dokkan event by the way, and I'm going to awaken him from an SR to an SSR state. By awakening him, we're going to increase his chance to increase Broly's SA. It's going to go from 5% to 50%. See? It's now 50%. So the SSR Broly is now a 50% raise. This is worth the materials if you, like me, and you're an older player or a longer playing player, and you kind of want to save the chance to raise SA. Especially on LR cards like Broly, getting them from 1 to 10 basically saves you 10 cars. So you can see you can either farm a billion of them and hope for a 5% chance, or you can farm a couple of them and raise them to 50%. I'm now going to show you how the name changing works. So you'll see there that that card is called Broly. The card, the LR that I raised the SA of, is also Broly. Now that I've awakened this card, I'm going to further Dokkan awaken it. This is going to change the card from Broly to Super Saiyan Broly. By changing the card from Broly to Super Saiyan Broly, the card is no longer going to be able to raise Broly's SA at all. Even though it's Broly and Broly, we understand that, but the change in forms or the change in the name there, from Broly to Super Saiyan Broly, means that you're no longer going to be able to use him to raise that card's SA. See, he doesn't even appear on the screen. You could go search for him, but it's pointless, because he's not going to be able to raise the SA. This is an important factor to keep in mind, especially with cards like Trunks, or multiple variations of units where you get youth and teen and kid and adults and all those sort of things. You can sometimes get Gohans who look like they should be the same Gohan, but one is Gohan Youth Super Saiyan and one is just Gohan Teen Super Saiyan. Sometimes it's annoying, but it also is just one of those things that allows you to also run those two units in the same team. So we're going to do a thorough demonstration of how sometimes Dokkan awakening a unit is helpful. So in that situation, we lost the ability to raise the SA of Broly by Dokkan awakening him. But by Dokkan awakening this Goten, we're going to be able to make him raise the SA of Super Saiyan Goten. Why? Because he changes form. So first thing to note is if you have Dokkan awakened a card and you want to raise the SA of that card, it's important that you first reverse the card. The reason being is that by reversing the card, you're going to give it the chance to have its SA get raised. But what we'll do is we'll awaken Goten first so that I can demonstrate the entire process to you. So as we Dokkan awaken, he will change from Goten to Super Saiyan Goten. He will be in SSR format. So the first thing we're going to notice is if we take him and try to raise the SA of Goten, we're only going to be able to raise it by 5%. This is because it's a very similar situation to the previous one. This Goten is Dokkan awakened. That means the Super Saiyan Goten will only be a 5%. It's a 2 rarity gap. But if we take that Goten that we've Dokkan awakened and we reverse him, it's going to knock it back down to a 1 rarity gap. By changing it from a 2 rarity gap to a 1 rarity gap, we now increase our chance of raising that Goten's SA from 5% to 50%. Then the next step would be to awaken this Goten further. By awakening him from a SSR state to a ultra rare state or an awakened state, we then give him the chance to now 100% increase the SA of Super Saiyan Goten. The reason why this is so important to understand is because sometimes with cards, running a 5% or 50% SA is not worth the stamina, it's not worth the farm. In this situation, Goten drops incredibly easily. You saw me run the stage and 6 of them dropped. But as some of you have experienced or probably know, some stages only have a unit drop once every 10 runs. Sometimes you get unlucky and you're only able to farm 5 or 6. In this way, you're able to maximize the amount of runs you have to do. If you only need to do 8 runs to get 8 units and you have a whole bunch of certain items spare, you can use them to raise the SA of that card. Now I'm just showing off Beerus. Like I said, when you summon for cards, make sure to note the names of the cards that you are getting. If you are getting things like Boo-Tanks, Buhan, Beerus, Piccolo, Goku Super Saiyan, Vegeta Super Saiyan, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha. There's a lot of cards, SR cards, and SR cards that can awaken into SSR cards that people just trash or bubba shop. But they don't realize that these cards can act as pure fodder for their units. That Beerus that I've been leveling up is one of those units. Dabura is another one. Dabura has tons of SR cards that drop. Boo has tons of SR cards that drop. All of these units have SR cards that drop from when you summon. So put those to the side. If you have a unit that has one of those names and you haven't maxed his SA, rather use it as a 50% Kai. It's better than the 1,000 Bubba points you're going to get when you have 400k of them. So yeah, just taking a look at these kind of events, you want to take note of the different names. There's Android 17 and Android 18, but these ones are designated as future, which means they can't be used to raise the SA of your standard Android 18 and Android 17 units. But if you go down to the lower event and you do the Universal Survival Saga event, you will notice there's an Android 17 and Android 18 from that event. Those cards will raise the SA of Android 17 and 18 units. And in the Universe 6 event, you get a whole bunch of cards that can raise SA. Generally, if cards start as an SSR, they will automatically be a 50% Kai for any card that has their name that is not Dokkan Awakened. So let's say you pull a Vegeta off of this banner and you have Transforming Vegeta. Now you can run the Prime Battle Vegeta stage and farm copies of the base form Prime Battle Vegeta and use him as a 50% Kai for this Vegeta over and over and over again. The rate at which the card drops will determine whether you want to use it as a 50% Kai or 100% Kai. If the unit drops quite frequently, like I've said before, you're going to want to use it as a 50% Kai. The reason being is if you are a newer player, or you're a player that's been awakening or on a bit of a trend, constantly awakening and training and applying medals to units can drain resources quite severely, especially when you have to do, for example in Goten's case, 3 or 4 leveling sessions, plus awakening him, plus the money to do so 10 times, plus you have to awaken him to a UR state just so that you can get a full 100% SA for a card. Now in that case it's worth it, because the Super Saiyan Goten Int and the Super Trunks tech that I use those cards for to raise the SA of are extremely good units. But at the same time, I'm also a very, very, very long-term player. I'm closing into day 700. I'm almost at 2 years. And I've completed a lot of the content, in fact, all of the content. So I have a lot of resources from which to do this, and saving Kais as a free-to-play player is an especially good option to do. But if you have a limited box, or you are certainly trying for a certain kind of event, don't waste your time trying to go through the motions and raising 1,000 different units to level up cars. It's just not going to help you. But yeah, so that's essentially how we're going to look at it. I'm showing you the Prime Battle for Trunks. This is just to demonstrate farming Prime Battle units. Prime Battles, events, Android 13 drops from the story. Dokkan events drop certain units. Some Dokkan events drop Broly, some drop Freezes. Then the Prime Battles, the Prime Battle Challenges, they drop Krillins, Trunkses, Vegeta, Cell First Forms, Frieza, Transforming Freezes, or Frieza First Form, and Gokus. And then of course there's the Goku Growth events as well. So you can see I'm just showing the name difference between the Trunkses and how that affects them. And yeah, those are your main sources of these units, and also strike missions. Strike missions can also be a great source. They drop their own medals if you want to really push it for the 100% Kais, but they do some quite diverse units there. General Tao, 16, Trunks, Tien, Piccolo, Scouts of Vegeta, trying to think of who else. Don't really know off the top of my head. Master Roshi. So there's quite a few units there. And then yeah, one of the other ways you can save Kais is in terms of easy A's. So when free-to-play units get easy A's, they generally go from 10 SA to 15 SA. When you are taking a unit from 10 SA to 15 SA, what you really want to do is you want to raise another copy of that unit from 1 SA to 5. So you have 2 copies. You have the 1 copy a unit with 4 piles opened and its SA at 10. That's your main copy. You will have a second copy with its SA at 5 but also completely awakened up to that point. When you easy A the first unit all the way to the end, it will change from 10 out of 10 to 10 out of 15. What this does is this means you can then apply the 5 one and change it from 10 to 15. It's a great way to save yourself Kais, especially on the free-to-play easy A's, because those are going to be the easy A's that you do as a free-to-play player, and you're going to always get to the 10, and I see a lot of players like push to the 15 with Kais, and it just loses you 5 Kais. In terms of who to train with your Kais, always focus on units that are very unlikely to get farmable events first, and that are useful obviously. So like crossover units definitely won't get any kind of farmable unit, really, not for the most part. I can't see them dropping an event that drops like Masked Saiyans and SS4 Vegetos and Celises, and it's just a lot. And then obviously also I would say any card that easy A's obviously very important, and having these cards easy A and having them get to their level 15 SA is also going to be a big deal. And then of course LR cards, but you can raise the SA of any card that you want as long as you're going to use it. I hope these kind of tips really help you guys. I know sometimes it's just general information, but sometimes it's helpful to just have a refresher course and to just see the alternate ways and to maybe understand the actual SA raising mechanic a bit more. Maybe you learned that the rarities are what affects the chance rate. But yeah, I hope this helps, and good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye!